going to All right, I just needed to make sure I tested the audio here. Sorry about that. All right, so we're going to get things going here. Right now, what we don't have any real huge weather makers going on today, so that's great. We do still have some risks. As you can see right here, we do have that risk for tornadic activity possible in areas of the Ohio River Valley, upper Ohio Valley, rather. And that would include Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, areas of Cleveland, Akron, Canton, Wheeling, Parkersburg. When is this all going to hit potentially? Let's go ahead and dive into that. We'll kind of move some scenes here through all of this. So I apologize for the ticker below. It's not given all the information. I do have to reprogram that evidently. So I do appreciate y'all joining here. Hopefully, you had a good Easter. Obviously, a lot of folks did have some pretty impactful storms over in areas of Missouri. Um, but again, today we're expecting to have things shift quite a ways east. Trying to see if I'm going to get any. There we go. Now we've got people joining. Apparently, my feed took a little while. Keith, thanks for joining. Appreciate it. Right now, we're looking at the tornado risk for today. This is going to be later this afternoon, so the mid-afternoon part of the day. We're looking at a satellite imagery, uh, and we'll put that into motion here. Just kind of seeing the clouds move on out, and see if I have any viewers here on Facebook right now. Be one moment. I do have to make sure that I take care of my 7-day forecasts for my Facebook folks here in South Dakota as well. So let me go ahead and get that through as well. All right, so Sioux Falls, South Dakota, 7-day forecast, expecting 70s, and we will continue to see a precip chance coming through for midweek. We do see a chance for some general thunderstorms, hit or miss. Also, in my opinion, there could be some marginal risk as we get later into the weekend. So just be aware of that, folks. And then areas of Aberdeen, we are expecting to see much the same. Pretty much the whole state of South Dakota is expected to get some rain. We need some rain up here. We don't need any more of that rain in the deep south or the areas of the Midwest. But as you can see, pretty cool temperatures as we get into the mid 30s by Thursday night. And then Rapid City, let's go ahead and take a look at that. Just waiting for it to load. And I may need to push it a little bit further here. Let's see. There we go. All right, so areas of Rapid City, 50s for highs, really cool. And look at that, still expecting some snow chances as we get into Tuesday night and Thursday night. Can't believe we're talking about snow, although it is not out of the ordinary for areas of South Dakota, western portion of South Dakota. Doxy Lover, I will definitely get to Chesapeake area here just shortly. I just got to get rid of or go over these areas of South Dakota where most of my followers first began, because that's where I live. So I appreciate it. But I will get to Chesapeake. All right, and then pure South Dakota, we're expecting much the same as far as precip goes. Rain, again, possibility of some marginally risked severe weather as we go later into the week, but we'll have to see how Storm Prediction Center states that that's going to be. All right, let's go ahead and get to the weather models and information here. Let's go ahead and first check out Doxy Lovers Chesapeake. I'm assuming that's Virginia, but Chesapeake, Virginia. All right, we'll take a quick peek at that. Clear on the coastline. We'll take this satellite loop off and we'll kind of dive right into our convective outlook. I'll take a look at HRRR right now. This is an estimate of what is expected to happen as far as precip goes. Let me kind of move that all over here as best as possible. Zoom this out a little bit so we don't get too clouded. Again, that green spot there, that is areas of concern for tornadic activity later today. This is by mid-afternoon. But again, Chesapeake area, I'm going to need to go over to NAM 3K for that. Waiting for that to load here. Bear with me. Some general showers expected here for tomorrow in Chesapeake, Virginia. Vidalia, Georgia. Great question. All right, so we do have Vidalia, Georgia. As we move that on over, not really expecting a whole lot there. Let's kind of put on the Store Prediction Center stuff here. This is day one. We're looking at the overall risks. This darker shade of green is a marginal risk for severe weather, and then all up and down this line here of the lighter shade of green is the general thunderstorms. South Dakota general thunderstorms for today. And then again, this area here is a part of the bigger concern. Hey, Mesomat, thank you so much. You got to be fueled by a lot of 5-hour energy or something, man. You have been going crazy with your stream. You're doing awesome. Be sure to check him out. Mesomat knows his stuff. He's getting his degree in meteorology. Definitely knows his stuff. All right, so Vidalia, Georgia, we're not really lots of coffee. Yeah, I got my Herbalife stuff here. So I definitely like energy bombs and things like that. All right, so let's go ahead and kind of look at additional risks for today. Again, they're not expected to be nearly as bad as they have been the last couple of days, but again, that's the area of concern for tornadic activity. That would be sometime in mid to late afternoon. Oh man, dude, thanks so much for the galaxy. Oh wow. I'm not using the TikTok platform itself. I'm using Streamlabs today, so unfortunately, I am not able to see all the cool graphics come across when I get a Galaxy. So I have to kind of look over to see that. Thanks so much, dude. All right, let's go ahead and take a look further into some of these other areas as well. Now, this is a composite reflective look, and I want to go a little bit further out. Round 3, MMA. Taking a 14-hour drive or so, Jacksonville to New York City in 30 minutes. Am I about to be cool? Let's take a look here. And go back to the overall risks, just to remind myself, because this was updated maybe about 15 minutes ago from, hey, it's Carlos, Arc City. But right now I'm taking a look at the one that we need to kind of watch here from Jacksonville to New York. It looks like you're good to go. You're going to approach some light showers, but nothing too significant. If we take a look at tomorrow's risks, see where that moves over. Tomorrow's risks, we don't want to get too far into that, but Charlotte looks to have a marginal risk for tomorrow, so I don't see anything really concerning there. Unfortunately, some areas of concern for tomorrow is northwestern part of Texas in that severe or slight risk. And then Lubbock and Odessa area for the tornado risk. I do expect that area actually to get a increase in this risk, but we'll have to see how that plays out here for tomorrow. And then if we go into day 3, again, kind of this area expected to have another round, and most of these plains, this would be day 3, which would end up being Wednesday, expected for that. All right, let me go back to day 1 risks here, and let me go ahead and take a look at Arc City. I'm assuming Arkansas City, Kansas. It's Carlos. If you, oh, Louisiana. Thanks for the follows. I appreciate it. Kimberly Tingler 591. Thanks so much for the share. I appreciate that. Please be sure to, um, drop some gifts, and if you're able to, certainly do the follow and share. We do these lives as often as we possibly can, but mainly we do them in the early morning hours. I'm sorry, man. Arc City, I'm not able to get. I'm not sure. The Kimberly, thanks for the rose. I appreciate that. Hey, Patricia State, or Patricia Tate 918. Good morning to you as well. I hope you had a great Easter. Hopefully you weren't dealing with the crazy stuff in the Missouri area. We're just kind of chatting away, folks, today, and trying to get to some of this, but it's going to be kind of a modge podge of things today, since there's not real significant severe weather expected in most areas today. Unfortunately, Pittsburgh is in that area of concern, Luca. Let me go back to the tornado risk here. And timing of that. Let me go back to HRRR since we're looking at day 1. We'll focus on day 1 stuff. Timing again for that activity is expected sometime early afternoon hours, so mainly after 12 o'clock. Some areas of concern would be right around 2 or 3 o'clock along I-77 areas. Oh, Patricia, you're in Indiana. Yeah, you lucked out on some of that. Yes, Kimberly, yes, there was some really, really bad storms, and I'll take a look here and kind of remind folks of uh, areas of concern. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we have this afternoon. Right there, you can see Pittsburgh area, sometime between 3 and 5 would be an area of concern. So kind of the hours where the heating of the day maximizes, plus you have that robust lift possibilities. Let's go ahead and take a look at the max helicity. They kind of pushed this further or expanded it further north up into Erie. So I don't see a whole lot going on here. I'm looking at max updraft helicity. There's still a little bit there, but again, that's why they do have the marginal risk of severe weather up there. Cadiz, Oklahoma. Can't talk. Milwaukee for tomorrow. Cadiz. Thanks so much for stating the city and the state. I just want people to remember I'm in South Dakota, and some of these these cities, I will not know where they are. Um, unless I know, unless you tell me what state. So I appreciate that very much. All right, so Cadiz would be right in this area here. We're looking for, you're in that risk for the 2% risk of tornadic activity. So marginally severe risk outlined by the Storm Prediction Center sometime after 2 p.m. 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. would be kind of the time frame based on this HRRR weather model. All right, Milwaukee, Madison girl, you live in Erie County. Hello to you. All right, Milwaukee for tomorrow. I'm guessing Wisconsin. Um, kind of take a look at a few things here for tomorrow. I always say that. I always say I'm not going to go to the next day, but I do. I appreciate the gifts. Keep them coming. Thanks so much. And the follows, I appreciate that. So here's a look at what Milwaukee could have. As you can see right here, Madison and Milwaukee are in a marginal risk for tomorrow. Let me take a look at um, 500 millibar wind so I could kind of have a better idea. Again, we're looking at tomorrow, folks. So folks that are just joining, this is not for today right now. It's going to be pretty broad, so it's going to be a little hard for things to get going. I would say the Milwaukee area definitely will stay in that marginal risk. I don't see anything that's too alarming for tomorrow. So hope that helps. But tune in tomorrow and make sure that you're following if you're not following already. That way you can certainly be more weather aware. Warren, Ohio. Ooh, Tina, most prediction models don't go into Canada. Any idea about Hamilton, Ontario today? Well, thank you for our folks in Canada. Thanks for joining. I appreciate it so much. I will definitely get to that. Um, Warren, Ohio area. Let's go back to HRRR. Since that is in Ohio, I want to kind of pinpoint that with the latest information from HRRR weather model here. Again, timing for anybody that's in Ohio is sometime early afternoon, after 12 o'clock. You are in this marginal risk, but also Warren is in a 2% risk for tornadic activity. Looking at the max updraft velocity, it doesn't look too impressive compared to obviously the last couple of days of severe weather in the plains and the Midwest areas, but still, you are in that 2% risk in areas of Warren, so just be aware of that. Strawberry Mercy, I hope that helps you. All right. So, Canada. Oh, Canada. I'm not going to be able to sing that. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look at Buffalo. You're good to go. There's not any real risk there. Let me just it the main thing would actually let me research that. You're talking Buffalo, New York. I got to figure out where my geographic areas are. You are in This is Buffalo right here. So you are in that 2% risk for tornadic activity. So stay weather aware anytime after 12 o'clock today. Uh, based on this weather model, basically 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. would be your time frame that you need to be concerned about for Buffalo, New York. What is CAP? Oh, I'm glad you asked. I can certainly bring that up. See if I have my graphic yet. All right. So we talk about breaking cap. And I promise you, Tina, I will get, actually, let me get to that first. You were first, so 1 second here. Let me get to Ontario, Hamilton. I get easily distracted, part of my ADHD. All right, so um, from what I can see here, Hamilton, Ontario, it looks like sometime in the afternoon hours. You have, I don't know what the risks are because as far as like being outlined, because Canada Environment Center, I can't think what they're called, um, in comparison to our U.S. Storm Prediction Center. Uh, Kennedy, Warren, Ohio is pinned because somebody in the chat had asked about Warren, Ohio. I have these areas, so when I do a search up here, uh, it doesn't remove the pin away from it. So right now I'm looking for Hamilton, Canada area as well. So anyhow, Hamilton, Canada area, or Ontario rather, is expected mid-afternoon, but I don't know the severe risks values because I don't have access to Canada's Environmental Center information. Great question. All right, now on to CAP. Let's go ahead and get that explained. Michigan, Michigan, if you're in the upper area of Michigan, you basically are going to anywhere in this area here. This is pretty much general thunderstorms, so you're good to go. Once you get into Ohio and some of the far western portions of New York, that's when, or not New York, Buffalo area here, that's when you get into some of the marginal risks. Madison Girl, Erie County. Erie County, Ohio. It does not show that you're in the risk for tornadic activity. However, that 2% is over in this area of Cleveland. So just be aware that um, there can be a brief spin up of things going there, but as of right now, it's just showing that some light general thunderstorms in those areas. Okay. All right, now I need to get to educational part. Let's get to that. Breaking the cap. You hear us talk about that a lot. And what is it exactly? So there's a stable layer in the upper atmosphere, and if that stable layer is there, then that's going to force the storms from not being able to really build. You can't mature those storms. Once you get the surface heating, warm, moist air, it can try to break that cap, and that's basically, in a nutshell, what it is. And then these are some other things, graphics that I kind of want to explain because some people are like, oh, well, the dew point is super high. Well, sometimes surface temperature and dew point, if they're close, can be supportive for tornadoes. However, it takes a lot of other elements. You got to have instability, wind shear, lift, and a trigger mechanism as well. A lot of times, not always, but a lot of times we call this in chasing area kind of the magic hours, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. because those can be typically the time frames that the cap can be broken. Um, and then storms can really get pretty robust. I hope that helps you and gives you some information regarding that. All right. Thanks so much for the shares and the gifts today. I certainly do appreciate it so much. Appreciate all of you. I will probably be cutting this live a little short today. I guess it has been a half an hour. Gosh. Strawberry Mercy, you're welcome. I created those graphics myself, so I hope they help. I'm trying to educate people as well while I'm here. While I don't have a meteorologist degree, I love learning. I don't like reading, but I love learning all kinds of things. Look at that. Kimberly Tingler stayed on the number one spot. Dontavi- Dontavius, number two. Strawberry Mercy is in number three spot. Let's go ahead and get some more followers. We only have 10 right now. Can we share this live? Let's try to share this live so people can be aware uh, of their weather today, especially if you got friends or family that are going to be in the plains for the next couple of days, southern plains like Nebraska, as well as Oklahoma and Texas, because over the next couple of days, you guys got some crazy stuff expected. Today, we're focusing primarily on Ohio and areas over here. How is Cleveland, Ohio doing today? Pittsburgh, PA. The word bad, mirror, mirror. Aha, mirror, mirror on the wall. Oh, I love it. You're the fairest of them all, right? All right, so I love Disney stuff. Is it going to be bad in Pittsburgh, PA? The word bad is kind of vague in my opinion, but the definition of bad, is there going to be tornadoes? Um, you're in the 2% risk for tornadic activity. Let me remind folks, and this was updated maybe about half an hour, a little over a half an hour ago. Let me just kind of support that. 7:30 actually. They updated it a little bit earlier than usual. Um, So this is Pittsburgh, PA area is expecting some possibilities of a few brief spin-ups, marginally severe weather, not anything of a breakout, but you could have some gusty winds at times. And this is primarily the timing of that is going to be sometime after 12 o'clock today. We'll do that scan here. As you can see, according to this scan, it's sometime after 4 p.m. Strawberry Mercy, you're welcome. Go ahead and get back to work. I don't want to get you in trouble. It's not even raining. Yep, it's not. This is not a live look at the radar. This is a radar estimate. So if you're in areas of Ohio and that, yeah, it's not going to be raining right now. And I'll go back to the live look at the radar. This right now is looking at Uh, Pittsburgh area, as you can see, this is not coming back with any rain. In order to come back with any type of rain, you got to go west of Akron, Ohio, and east of Mansfield. And those are very, very light showers. Probably not even making it to the surface, some of it. Bookie. So thanks so much. This is for today. This is tornado risk for today. So if you're in this green zone, you definitely need to be mindful of where your safe place is. This is the risk for tornadic activity. I don't expect any huge breakouts of tornadoes, but just keep in mind, stay weather aware today. Tennessee. Tennessee, add to tough. Once the timing on this is expected to be after 12 o'clock. Let me go ahead and give you a radar estimate. As you can see, some of these cells that get kind of Deeper shades of colors right here, Canton. These probably are ones that could have um, the most intense portion. And then even up farther north, I know they did expand this further north. So over by Erie area, that would be somewhere around 3 o'clock. And then if we progress this further along, we can kind of have a good idea of an estimate of when that's going to be moving on out. It becomes more broad uh, rain event and maybe a slight wind event in the evening hours as we get further into areas of Pennsylvania. By the time you get into the late evening hours, it's pretty much done. All right, Kentucky, Shepherdsville. I don't think I'm Shep Shepherdsville. Shepherds. Takes a little bit for me to get that going here. All right, so let me remind folks of what the outlook is for today. All right, so Shepherdsville, you're in general thunderstorms. Nothing is expected to be this far south as far as severe weather goes. You could have something that kind of gets generated later in the day, possibly. But again, these outlooks show this is the wind threat. Not expecting anything. You're kind of in a zone there where we're not needing to worry about it too much. Is my Dollar General still standing? That is interesting to know. All right, Cambridge, Ohio. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. I appreciate the shares and the likes, as well as continuing to ask questions. That is awesome. I love the engagement. All right. Let me go ahead and shut the outlooks off here for that. All right. So this would be a concern for you're in the 2% spot for Cambridge, Ohio, and this is for probabilities of tornadic activity. I don't expect numerous ones, but there is possibility of a brief spin up somewhere in this 2% zone. And this would be, again, the timing of that is after 12 o'clock today if things can get going. And then by the time 6 o'clock rolls around, pretty much out of there. South Bend, you have tornado phobia. Best thing for that is to just educate yourself. I totally understand that and respect you for being so honest in the chat about that, Bookie. Um, but definitely educate yourself, and knowledge is power, folks. Girkmaster 69. How do you prepare? I don't have a graphic for that, but best way to prepare is if you have a basement, know where that is. Okay, fear mongering going on here. Let's not get too wild and crazy in here. All right, smack dab in the middle of 2% zone. All right, and South Bend. Oh, I'm sorry, South Bend, Indiana, and Chicago. Chicago, you're good. You're outside of that area, so Chicago, you're good. Don't need to worry about that today. Um, Great question, Aiden G888. And if there's anybody that ever wants to kind of help moderate things, if you're a weather enthusiast like me, message me directly. I would love to collaborate with you, and maybe I could get somebody to help me along in the chats because sometimes these things go pretty quick, especially when there's severe weather. Kimberly, that is awesome. Just remember, people, God is in control, but pray and prepare yourself for these storms. That's awesome. Yes, very true. South Bend, I'm getting to you right now. South Bend, Indiana, you're outside of that zone for risk. And if I do the broader risk for today, it's good. You're outside of the risk for any type of thunderstorms. Why we're looking at Ohio jerky is because that area does have a 2% risk for tornadic activity. Again, it's a low risk, and I'm not trying to fearmonger anybody, but when there's a risk there, I still kind of focus on any of those areas. Again, this is going to be sometime in the afternoon hours after 12 o'clock if things can get going and break through a cap. Tap and share. Thank you, Kimberly. Appreciate it so much. Is Bama just getting rain? All right, Alabama. You do have a marginal risk for severe weather. Um, I was looking at some of the details from the Storm Prediction Center this morning before going live, and they were more concerned about the northern edge of the this line of storms, which would be why I was focusing so much on Ohio and Pittsburgh areas and up in the upper Ohio Valley. Um, although my concern too would be like Florence area, Huntsville, the northern part of Alabama, if things can get going. Let me remind folks where the wind threat is as well. It's not huge, but still 11:30, the Storm Prediction Center will probably have another update. Um, Chris Evans, son lives in Huntsville. Yeah, I would say it's probably going to be more of a wind event. Um, I don't have my graphic available for QLCS, but um, wind event in Florence and Huntsville, and this would be estimates sometime early afternoon hours, and then it kind of dwindles away, and then the storms down to the south and Tuscaloosa area get going. Anything for St. Louis? Teresa, I appreciate the question. Thanks so much for the follow, Carol and Ruby2 Skibbity. Skibbity dibbity. Ooh, Kimberly, thanks so much for the me's. Appreciate that so much. Let's go ahead and St. Louis. I don't want to get too far. St. Louis area, not today, but there are some growing concerns on like day 3. So that would end up being Wednesday. St. Louis, you're good for today and tomorrow. Let me go ahead and put the risks for tomorrow. Risks for tomorrow would be areas of Des Moines for that marginal risk of severe weather, and then more so for areas of northwestern Texas. This again is for risks for tomorrow, slight risk. And then day 3, and then I've got to let you all go because I do have to get ready for work, folks. Day 3, general thunderstorms is what it says right now. depending on how quickly this all shifts. And then this is the marginal risk. I do expect areas that are in this marginal risk for Wednesday. Um, I do expect that to be a slight risk. Um, so it's just day 3. When they're that far out, they don't typically like to put that slight risk on it until later. Huntsville, Alabama is having rain all week. Yep, you sure are. We can take a look real quick at the precip values, how much rain is expected. We'll go to GFS. This has a tendency to, was updated at 4 o'clock this morning, so just be mindful. This is a little outdated, but that's the latest information that we have. And this is going to give you kind of a brief overview of the total precip that's expected between the 4 a.m. update and 10 a.m. on the 25th. So let's kind of show folks how much moisture is expected in these areas. Another couple of inches in areas north of Oklahoma, maybe even 4 to 5 inches. Again, unfortunately, 2 inches in areas that don't need it. This is an estimate, folks. This is not going to definitely be these areas, but this is an estimate. So a lot of moisture in these areas over the next number of days through the 25th at 10 a.m. here. A lot of moisture. All right, so you guys have a great rest of your day. Again, I appreciate all the follows and the likes and the shares. Again, you can also follow me on Facebook as well as YouTube. I do often, or as often as I'm able to, go live in the field doing storm chasing, but I'm not able to do the live in the field storm chasing on TikTok because of the risk of dangerous activity. I got banned when I was trying to do the Nebraska one. I got banned for 24 hours from going live. So I learned my lesson that you can't do that. So if you love storm watching people that are storm chasing and given a lot of useful information and all of that, please be sure to go follow 605 Chaser on YouTube channel and or Facebook. Again, you guys have a great rest of your day. Thanks for the follows and thanks for the gifts. I can't